Some songs refused to fade. They were forged in smoke-filled studios, recorded on tape machines, and pressed onto vinyl during a decade when rock music reached a creative peak few eras have matched. Yet half a century later, these recordings still climb streaming charts, fill stadium speakers before kickoff, and pull crowds onto wedding dance floors. If the golden age of rock and the songs that still soundtrack daily life interest you, consider subscribing so you never miss a video like this one. Here are 10 of the biggest rock songs of the 1970s that still dominate every playlist today. Number 10, Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Released in 1974 on the album Second Helping, this Southern rock anthem started as a response to Neil Young, but it grew into something far larger than a musical argument. The opening guitar riff is one of the most recognizable in American music, instantly identifiable within 2 notes. Ronnie Van Zant's easy vocal delivery and the layered backing vocals gave the song a warmth that radio audiences embraced immediately. What keeps it alive today is its versatility. It plays at college football games, country bars, road trip playlists, and movie soundtracks ranging from Forrest Gump to Con Air. The tragic plane crash in 1977 that claimed Van Zant and other band members only deepened the song's emotional weight, turning a Southern rock single into a cultural touchstone that refuses to age.
Sweet home Alabama, where the sky was blue.
Number 9, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Although technically released at the very end of the decade and into the early 80s, the recording sessions and creative spirit of this song belong firmly to the late 70s arena rock movement. Steve Perry's soaring vocal performance, Jonathan Cain's piano introduction, and Neil Chacon's guitar work created a track that defined a sound. For decades after its release, the song lived a quiet life as a fan favorite. Then, a single television placement. In 2007, when it closed the final episode of The Sopranos, sent it back into orbit. It became one of the most downloaded songs in digital history, a karaoke staple, and the unofficial anthem of weddings, sporting events, and graduation ceremonies. It speaks to anyone who has ever held on to hope when reason said otherwise. Number 8, Hotel California by the Eagles. Released in 1976, this song stretches past 6 minutes and contains one of the most analyzed guitar solos in popular music. The interplay between Don Felder and Joe Walsh in the closing instrumental section has been studied by guitarists for nearly 50 years. The lyrics, written largely by Don Henley and Glenn Frey, paint a haunting picture of excess and entrapment in a glamorous setting.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Listeners have spent decades debating what the hotel really represents. Some hear a critique of the music industry. Others hear a metaphor for addiction or the loss of innocence in 1970s California. The ambiguity is part of why it endures. The song never gives up its secrets, and every new generation seems to discover it fresh, often through film, television, or a parent's record collection. It remains one of the most streamed catalog tracks in the world. Number 7, Dream On, single, originally released in 1973, was a slow burn that took years to find its audience. Steven Tyler wrote the song as a teenager, and the recorded version captures a young singer reaching for something epic before he had yet become a stadium frontman. The arrangement builds patiently. Soft piano, a quiet vocal, then strings, drums, and that famous wailing climax that rock vocalists still attempt to imitate. When the song was re-released after the success of Toys in the Attic in 1975, it climbed into the top 10 and stayed there.
Sing for the earth, sing for laughter, sing for the tear, sing we man the
Today it appears in films, sports broadcasts, and ceremonies of every kind. It is the song people put on when they want a soundtrack for ambition or perseverance, and it has crossed generational lines so completely that grandchildren now sing along with their grandparents. Number 6. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Released in 1975 on the album A Night at the Opera, this nearly 6-minute composition broke every rule of radio play that existed at the time. It had no chorus in the traditional sense. It shifted between ballad, opera, and hard rock without warning. And yet it became one of the biggest singles of the decade. Freddie Mercury's vocal range, Brian May's guitar harmony, and the painstakingly layered studio production created a recording that still feels like an event every time it plays. The accompanying promotional film is often credited as a precursor to the modern music video. Decades later, the song received a second life through the film Wayne's World in 1992, and then a third through the biographical film about Mercury released in 2018. Streaming numbers reached heights that few catalog songs ever achieve. If you're enjoying this countdown so far, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We love hearing where these classic rock memories travel, and your stories about hearing these songs for the first time are part of what makes this community so special. Now, let us keep going with the final 5. Number 5. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Released in 1971 on the band's untitled 4th album, this 8-minute track was never released as a single during its original run, yet it became one of the most played songs in the history of American FM radio.
Your head is humming out, it won't go, in case you don't know.
Jimmy Page's acoustic introduction unfolds slowly, joined by Robert Plant's mystical lyrics, John Paul Jones's recorders and keyboards, and finally John Bonham's drums in the song's storied second half. The closing guitar solo is regularly cited among the greatest ever recorded. For a generation that came of age in the 70s, this song was more than music. It was a rite of passage. Today it still appears on rock countdowns, retrospective broadcasts, and streaming playlists, and it remains one of the most attempted songs in guitar shops around the world. Few compositions in any genre carry that kind of staying power. Number 4. Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. The second appearance for this band on the list is no accident. Released in 1974, the studio version on the album, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, stretches past 9 minutes and features one of the most extended guitar solos ever pressed to vinyl. Alan Collins and Gary Rossington built a closing section that became a template for the entire jam band era. Concertgoers still shout the title at unrelated performers as a long-running musical joke, a sign of just how deeply embedded the song became in American culture. The ballad opening, with its slide guitar and Ronnie Van Zant's reflective lyrics about freedom and movement, gives way to a frenetic finale that has closed countless live shows for nearly 50 years. It plays at funerals, road trips, and tribute concerts with equal ease. Number 3. More Than a Feeling by Boston. Released in 1976 on the band's self-titled debut album, this song redefined what a rock recording could sound like sonically. Tom Scholz, an engineer by training, layered guitars and harmonies with a precision that gave the song an almost orchestral fullness. Brad Delp's vocal performance soars across the top of that wall of sound. The melody is unforgettable from the first listen, which is why classic rock radio has played it almost continuously for nearly half a century. It opens its countless playlists about driving, summer, and nostalgia. It also influenced an entire generation of arena rock and power pop bands that followed in the 80s. When listeners argue about the most replayable rock song of the decade, this title comes up again and again. Number 2, Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. Released in 1976 on the album Leftoverture, this track combined progressive rock complexity with a hook so memorable that it has become a sing-along anthem at sporting events and graduation ceremonies. The opening a cappella harmony grabs attention within seconds. The interplay between Kerry Livgren's guitar work, Steve Walsh's vocals, and Robbie Steinhardt's violin gave Kansas a sound unlike anything else on American radio at the time.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you march on.
The lyrics speak of searching and weariness, themes that translate easily across decades and life stages. A renewed cultural moment arrived when the song was adopted as a recurring theme on the long-running television series Supernatural, exposing it to younger listeners who then discovered the rest of the album. Streaming numbers climbed accordingly, and the song now lives comfortably on rock playlists for every generation. Number 1, Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. Released at the very edge of the era in 1967 and dominating the airwaves throughout the 70s and beyond, this song deserves its place as the final entry, not because it is the most dramatic, but because it may be the most universally beloved. It plays at weddings, anniversaries, dances, and family gatherings more often than nearly any other rock song from the era. Van Morrison's vocal warmth, the lilting guitar figure, and the gentle horns combine into something that sounds like sunshine bottled into 3.5 minutes. There is no anger in it, no irony, just affection. For American listeners aged 50 and older, this song often carries a memory attached to it. A first dance, a summer evening, a long drive with the windows down. Half a century later, it remains one of the most requested songs on radio and one of the most played in jukeboxes and digital playlists alike, a perfect unfading rock standard.